Okay. Thank you, Larita, for joining. Gonna wait for a couple of more people. Hi, Jay DeBurn. Sorry about that. DeBurn. Hi. This isn't another impromptu live. I never know when I'm gonna actually go live. I just go. Thank you for the roses. I just go when I'm guided. And right now I'm guided to share some insight that was coming to me. Tomorrow I'm preparing for this meeting tomorrow. It's a pretty important one. Just an opportunity to share what I've been working on for some time, what my purpose and my mission is, the philosophies I developed around mental disorders. Excuse me, y'all. My throat's a little dry. 1 second. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, girl. Hey, thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the love. You know I get on here randomly. So anyway, that's what I'm preparing for tomorrow. And hey, exclusively yours. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is good with you. Hey, Chrissy. So really quickly, I'm preparing for this meeting tomorrow, and I have these channels, these downloads coming through, uploads and downloads coming through while I'm writing out my notes for tomorrow. And I said, let me get on live really quickly and just share it with you who are here now and you who may be watching this later on. But here's what I want to say. If you are experiencing any level of anxiety, of depression, if you're having any thoughts about suicidal thoughts, having any thoughts about death at all, those of you who may be experiencing this in silence, perhaps you haven't talked about it openly, perhaps you've never told any of your family members that you feel depressed, that you are struggling with anxiety, perhaps you've had some panic attacks you've not talked about. Perhaps this is something you're going through silently and you've not told anyone about it. And perhaps you haven't had anyone to tell about it because nobody's speaking your language. I just pulled my laptop up for a little bit more light. Perhaps you haven't told anybody because nobody really speaks your language or can offer you insight about what you may be experiencing, about what you may be going through. There's something I want to share with you. The answers that I have to share, let me say this first. The answers that I have to share are not for everybody, right? The answers that I have to share will probably be very strange for you about what you may be experiencing, what you may be going through. The answers that I have to share are probably too unorthodox for your pastors, for your priests. They're too taboo for your family and for your friends. Too otherworldly and not clinical enough for your therapist if you are seeing a therapist. The answers that I have to share are based on things that you were probably told to demonize, to vilify, to sweep under rugs, to not talk about. Answers that may be too wild for many that may be around you. Your power, the suppression of your power and of your purpose is now showing up as anxiety, as depression, and as thoughts of suicide. If you, for those of you that this message is meant for, if you are experiencing extreme levels or any level of anxiety, depression, having thoughts of death, and what exactly is depression? Like, people are like, does it mean that I'm sad? Does it mean that what exactly is depression? What I'm working on, I'm going to be releasing some information as soon as it's done going through its process. Right now it's going through some preparation processes, and as soon as it's done, I'm going to be releasing some information to you. I've redefined depression for many of you. I've redefined anxiety for many of you. And when people think about, well, of course, people get sad. Of course we get sad, so I guess if I'm sad, then I'm depressed. Depression, when you look up depression, it means the pressing down, right? The pressing down of something. To D means to descend. The press, meaning you're pressing in some direction, pushing in some direction, right? So depression, in my philosophy, says that you are depressing, pressing down something that is trying to get out. And what is that something? Well, on my journey, just on my own personal uncovering of what this thing is that so many are suffering from, that they're looking for answers to, but haven't been able to find the answers. As a matter of fact, the suffering has increased for many because they're looking for answers that have not been made public until now. There are many looking for answers that may not know that they're looking particularly for these answers. I know that sounded a bit confusing, but for many of you this is for, then this will make sense to you. Sometimes you're looking for something you never knew you were looking for. So we see this increase in this increase in anxiety and depression and people suffering through what this phenomenon is because the answers that people are really looking for, are really truly seeking, are hidden in the dark. They're hidden in the dark of your clinical approaches. They're swept under the rugs and vilified and demonized in your churches. Okay? The answers lie in those things that are considered the unknown, are those things that are considered, again, too unorthodox and too taboo to talk about, too wild to talk about, too crazy to talk about. The suppression of your power and your purpose, for many of you, the suppression of it is now showing up as anxiety, depression, and thoughts of death. A power that has been lying dormant in you for many lifetimes, not just this lifetime, but for many, many lifetimes. There is a power and a knowledge and an ancient wisdom that is so deeply hidden within you. And it's ready to come out. But you've been taught to not do that. You've been taught to vilify that. You've even been taught to demonize this power that is lying dormant in you. So much so that it's showing up as a mental health disorder or mental disorder, whatever people want to give this title. Okay? Anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide are really the symptoms of something much more deeper that is trying to get out. And that thing that lies dormant, that is suppressed within you, is your true power and your true purpose. The reason you were born. We see people all over the world talking about or trying to find the answers to their purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I here? That answer lies so deeply in you. But it requires a journey that you have to take in order to get there. The journey you have to take within. And that journey within, that journey within is nothing to play with. It's a very scary, deep, dark journey that you must go through. You must, in order to discover, uncover your purpose. But many of you have been taught to fear that journey, have been taught to fear that darkness. Therefore, you don't take the journey. Therefore, you never discover your purpose. Therefore, your purpose is forever pounding and screaming at the doors within, showing up as anxiety and depression because you haven't taken the journey to let it out. Anxiety and depression are your purpose calling you from within, are your powers calling you from within to come and unleash them, to let them out. But you're too afraid to take the journey, the deep, dark journey within. And you're only afraid because you've been taught to be afraid. You were taught to fear the dark. Anything that is dark. The dark night of the soul, the darkness, the shadow, the blackness, the black cat. You were taught to demonize and vilify anything that was dark. Using phrases like kettle, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black, black male? I gotta say it again, black cat, anything dark you've been taught to fear. So you refuse to take the inner deep dark journey within. And because you refuse to do that, you never discover your true power and your true purpose. And you will continue to suffer from anxiety, depression, and thoughts of death. Thoughts of death, an increase of suicidal rates. There are people willing to take their own lives just to escape this one. Proof that we have failed as a species on this planet. Where people are willing to end it just to get out of here. When you think about the idea of hell, we should consider that we may already be here. And people are wanting to find a way out, and they choose to take their own lives. Proof that as a species on this planet, that this is as far as we've gotten is a failure. Where it's this diabolical, people are willing to end their lives just to get the fuck out of here. Where they've been taught to vilify and demonize who and what they really are for so long that they rather die. If they can't do the work to release it themselves, they rather take their own lives and in some way hope that that can release their power from them. That can somehow alleviate the pain. Your power, the suppression of your power and your purpose is showing up as anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. Even for me, I suffer from extreme levels of all the above. I understand the idea of suicidal thoughts very well. I understand that it's got to be something or someplace better than this. And in order to get there, I'm willing to escape this one by any means necessary. That means we have not done our work here as a species that's supposed to be evolving. This is the best we can do. To where people want to escape being here. We failed. But even for me, if I refuse to share what I've learned on my journey through the darkness, I chose to no longer fear the dark. Because of my choice, I was guided. And what I found in this darkness, beckoned me to share these messages with those of you who it's meant for. Because if I refused, I would continue to suffer. Why? Because this is my power. This is my purpose. This is me unleashing my power and my purpose through the messages I share with those of you who it's meant for. If I refuse to do this, to come on and do just simply this, sharing with you live, writing articles, if I didn't share these philosophies with you that I was called to develop by my own journey of going through the darkness, by my own journey of uncovering what those monsters under my bed were, through my own journey of uncovering the fear of the demonization of anything that is dark and that is black and that is shadow, I will continue to suffer. What I share with you is the things that were suppressed within the darkness of me and anything and everything that was suppressed within the darkness of this world that we live in. It required that I questioned absolutely everything about myself and about the world around us. So the information that I share with you comes out of the dark. It's the hidden things within the shadows. What I share with you were the monsters we've been taught to fear for many lifetimes. And the monster is you. And the monsters are us. We are the monsters. We are the things that go bump in the night. We are the things we've been taught to fear. Whew. We are the things that's been hidden in the darkness and in the shadows. We are the things that's been demonized. Thank you, Chrissy. The darkness that you fear is you. The monsters that live in the dark is you. The demons and the devils that exist is you. And you've been taught to fear you. There's so much more than what I am going to share in this one live. So much more that's coming. The demons in the darkness that you've been taught to fear. The demons are you. The devil is you. There's so much more to that. Why is this part of us called is demonic? Why is this part of us demonic? Why is this part of us considered wicked? Or why is this darkness considered scary or of the underworld type of stuff? Why is that? We'll have to talk about that in later lives. But that you that is hidden in the dark is tired of being hidden. It's banging at the doors within you, asking you to let it out, to let you out. But you got to go through the journey in order to be able to do that. You got to understand, overstand, and understand what this part of you really is and what you're supposed to be doing with you, with this part of you. And why this part of you, I can't say it's nothing to fear. People lie when they say there's nothing to fear in the darkness. That's not true. There is a lot to fear. There is a lot to fear. The thing about that is you fear those things you don't understand. Right? And why don't you understand them? Because you were taught not to. You were taught to suppress them, demonize them, and vilify them instead. And as a result, you are suffering from extreme levels of anxiety and depression and thoughts of suicide. There's so much more on suicide I want to dive into, the ideas about death. There's so much more I want to dive into about that. I've done a couple of videos on having suicidal thoughts. Good, listen to this, or may I join you. My philosophy about suicidal thoughts says that there is a part of you that does want to die. And it's the part of you that never really was you. Only so that you can be reborn into the you were DNA coded to be. In this life. In this life. You don't even have to leave your body. Well, when we talk about dream traveling and astral dimensional travels, and in that case you would be leaving your body. But that's conversations for another time too. Ooh, it's going to be getting good, huh? Yeah. Anyway, the suppression of your power and your purpose is now showing up as anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. And the only way to unleash your power and your purpose is by taking the journey within. The journey within and through the darkness within you. All those things you've been taught to fear. Taking the journey within to unleash your power and your purpose. And it's a scary journey. But like the saying goes, you only fear what you don't understand. Till next time. And I don't know what that next time is going to be. Again, my lives are impromptu. When you're guided to see this, you'll see this. Feel free to email me at tamishaburgess@gmail.com if you want to chat more. I'm also available for speaking, seminars, lectures, online webinars. I am sharing my philosophies globally with those who it's meant for. Tomorrow is, when I was telling you guys and ladies earlier that I have a meeting tomorrow, I'm preparing for that right now, and I just want to come on this live. But the meeting tomorrow is the opportunity to be able to share these philosophies with those who need it globally. So send me some good energy, even though I know it's already here because this is divine. This is divine orchestration. So I'm just a willing participant. So anyway. I am available, so email me at tamishaburgess@gmail.com. I'm in this energy right now because I'm channeling. I'm feeling very, very sensitive. So let me go before this live ends up being longer. Thank you, my Chrissy. Ooh, I just love you so much. I do. You are my sister from another. I'm so thankful for having crossed paths with you. You know, it's like as you're on your journey, you start to meet your tribesmen and tribeswomen. And I knew from the moment we crossed paths that you were one of the ones, one of the chosen ones. So, okay, I'm gone. Are you, okay, I won't ask you, I won't tell your business where you're at, but Are you back yet? Are you back stateside yet? Let's catch up when we can, okay? Bye, everybody. See you next time. This is kind of like a fireside because I have my candle. All right, I'm gone. Bye. I look a little, I just look a little bloated, don't I? Just a little bit. 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 Just a little bit.